That was just kind of an offhanded comment, but at this point in the year, do you start looking at your own personal numbers, saying, "Well, if I do this, and if I get the chance to play enough, there is time the way that you've steadily gone upward all year. You can hit that, you can hit numbers you've gotten before, but you've done it facing lefties a lot this year."
Yeah, this year was there was ups and downs through this year, but for the most part, once we were kind of out of the picture of the playoffs and winning the division, it became more, my main focus was how can I maybe not get immediate success, but how can I work towards getting myself in a position where it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to hit, this is my mental approach to the game, so I can give myself the best opportunity to help the team win. And that was kind of my main goal after, I would say, the second half, after the first half, going into the second half. And it's I don't search my numbers when I get back home or anything like that, but they're everywhere. They're on the big board when we're up. It's like boom, you look up for number of outs, you see what you're hitting. So obviously I know what my numbers are, but they're not great, they're not terrible, considering a month ago where they were at. I feel like I've done a pretty decent job, leading up to the last couple of weeks here in the season, and I'm just trying to keep doing what I'm doing, and that's just doing the exact same thing. Obviously results happen, they don't sometimes, even when you do what you want and execute what you want. There's pitchers, they know better than anybody. They can execute a perfect pitch, and a guy could break his bat and hit a dribbler that gets through, and it's like, man, that result wasn't there, but I executed what I wanted to, and ultimately you, unless those results keep coming back negative every time, you know what's going to work, and basically, hitting a ball hard as a hitter is having success. So whether they catch it or not, after 100 or so at bats, it'll start to turn around if you've had some bad luck. But yeah, that's where I'm at now, man. Just trying to finish strong and just keep doing exactly what I've been doing and take that into next year in this offseason.
We're looking at the roster, and there's guys that most, like 95% of fans have not heard of. How often does it happen where you're out on the field warming up and you don't know who that guy is, or you're even playing, you're like, oh yeah, that guy that you hadn't seen in months, where it's like you have to introduce yourself a little bit, or how does it work where, man, there's 8 or 10 guys that I'd never met before, they're my teammate now?
Right, when they're on your team, I pretty much know everybody. Everybody would probably agree. I kind of make a point to go up and talk to everybody. And a lot of these guys, Michael Reed, Yachty's been up with us this year, Suter, Rowan I didn't know, we got him from a different team, but I've got to know him. If you want to be a good team, if you want to be a good teammate, you got to know your guys on your team. And I'm definitely one that doesn't shy away from those things. But yeah, I obviously know the guys that have came up through our organization, like Michael Reed and Suter and those kind of guys. But Susak, I knew of him a little bit. I played against him in high school a little bit, but a couple days, and it's like I've known him my whole life. So I'm pretty comfortable with the guys on our team right now. There's times where somebody will get called up for another team that I've never seen the guy, never heard of him, but nowadays with all the resources we have, we're able to look at video and at least prepare ourselves for what he can do, either on the offensive side or if he's a pitcher. We got all that information.
There is kind of an inherent value in the way you approach it, though, where a lot of guys are raised to be hyper-focused on their own game. I've got to get better at this, so I don't care about any of these guys because they're not really my long-term teammates, because you have to travel to play and all that. To be a guy that they know is going to engage with teammates, have you thought about the value there is in that? I know it's just your nature, but when somebody's looking, hopefully we'd like you to stay here, but if somebody's looking at you to have that reputation as somebody that's going to be a teammate first, you think that's going to help your value as you go along?
I've never really thought about it that way. I really just think about it like, that's just what you have to do to be on a successful team. You have to have guys like that. But at the same time, you have to be focused on your job. I mean, we're playing with 9 guys out at the field at one time, but each person is in charge of doing their job. So that's your main focus, but then when you got all your stuff figured out, whatever the situation is, then you look over, okay, I need to communicate with this person to maybe get an edge on a certain play. There's times where I'll turn around to the outfielders and I'll be like, hey, like if there's a lefty up and he's late on a fastball, but he's been early on off-speed pitches, you know, they're like, oh man, like I wish I knew what pitch. It's like I'll let them know sometimes, and that kind of goes beyond just what your job is at the time. So I think when you put together a group of guys that have a mindset of, okay, number one is what's my job right here, what's the situation? Number two, how can I help out somebody else in return helping me help the team? And number three, how can I just help somebody else out to help their job? Yeah. And that's how, in my opinion, that's how all the good teams think. That's their process. But when it comes to the clubhouse and the locker room stuff, I mean, you have different personalities. Like you said, guys are raised different ways. For me, I want to feel comfortable. So in order for me to feel comfortable, I want others around me to feel comfortable, because that makes me uncomfortable. If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, you know, if there's something going on where, you know, let's say I mess up or something and you know, wear the wrong, sometimes we wear sports coats, sometimes we just wear, you know, collared shirt. Let's say I mess up and I don't wear a sports coat when I'm supposed to. It's like, man, like, I messed up. So, you know, I'd like to talk to the guys that have, you know, time and they're more of the like veteran presence on the team, and just kind of explain to them like, hey, this is what happened. Like, you know, I'm sorry I messed up. It won't happen again. Hopefully not. And that just kind of makes the situation, you know, not over, but it just helps out them. It helps out me. They know I understand what I did. I want them to know, like, I'm sorry, and, you know, I didn't mean to. I don't mean just whatever the situation is, it's important for me to resolve it and to make sure that people feel comfortable with whatever's going on. That wasn't a great example, but I mean, just guys getting called up their first day in the big leagues. Some guys are, I mean, if you're not nervous or have nerves going on, you're not human. Yeah. So just talking to them about that, like, man, like when I came up, dude, like I felt the same way, like just making them feel like, okay, this is normal. And also just giving them the ins and outs, like talk to this guy if you need this, or, you know, if you need anything, let me know. Like that's what guys are supposed to do. I mean, there's always guys like that on the team. Some guys maybe take that role, and other guys can relax and know it's getting taken care of. But for me, it's just the way I am. I mean, I've came a long way in the past few years. Sometimes I, you know, might be mentally on a totally different page than somebody else and think I'm doing the right thing, and it's just like, whoa, dude, what, you know? But I've grown, I've matured, and I'm in a good place now. I think I don't know if that adds value to, you know, if people are talking about me on you know, whatever on this team or going to a different team. I don't know if that adds value, but I can't say that it's a terrible thing.
Is it kind of tough? It would have been nice if you were playing teams in a pennant race. I mean, really the only damage you can do is maybe keep the Rangers from getting the best record in the American League. Do you have to do a little more? I mean, you could always say we can be a spoiler or we can beat the best teams in the league. Is it kind of tough to not be selfish or just worry about yourself if in this situation where you're playing the Pirates, who need a miracle even to be a factor, the Reds, and then obviously the Rangers they're solidly in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think for some guys it might be a little hard to be like, oh crap, like, you know, let's still do this team thing, and, you know, yeah, like, because of the situation we're in. Like you said, we're not in the playoffs. We're not going to be, unfortunately. So it might be easy or natural just for guys to be like, okay, let me just get my numbers up, or let me just do whatever I can to finish strong for me. And I mean, that it's very natural to think that way. It's not a bad thing. It's not, you know, I can't say that there's not a little bit in my mind that, you know, has that thought process. But for me, just being with this team, coming through the organization, like there's some like pride that comes from beating these good teams. Like we went in, we could have took 4 from the Cubs there.
You should have. Yeah.
Took 3. I mean, they're the best team in baseball, and we beat, and we dominated the one. I mean, we like clearly were, in my eyes, the best team in those 4 games. So that makes you feel good, or at least that makes me feel good, because I've been a part of this organization for a while, and I mean, I take pride in that. Our record's not the best, but knowing that we're finishing up the season, strong, beating these really good teams makes me feel good. I'm sure it makes a lot of other people feel good about it too. Knowing that I plan on playing on this team next year. I mean, that's, if they like me, I'll play on the team next year. So I mean, this is my team. So I mean, I feel good when we go in and beat those teams, whether it's spoiling their season or not. It's just makes me feel good when we go in and we compete, and people are just like, man, like this team, like who is this team? Like who are some of these guys? It's like, yeah, like this is our team, and it might not be everybody today, might not be in the starting lineup next year, but I mean, there's a core group of guys that have some talent, and it's just nice when those teams are playing their best and they're the best team in baseball or top 5, and we go in and beat them. It's just like, man, we could do this. So just gives me confidence, gives our team confidence, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, but the goal is to win the game that day, and that never changes for me. It can be challenging at times, but that's the goal, and we've been taking care of that recently.
We talked about your wife last time, but you ticked off my wife because she's a lifelong Cub fan, and you ruined their celebration. Like they clinched off the field there. Was that a kind of a cool thing? I mean, it was that series, and it on paper, you guys could have written it off saying, well, they've got this wrapped up. We're on the road. Again, be selfish. To take that away from somebody, I mean, obviously you're a good guy, but it's the source of pride is to kind of beat the best and even take away something from them a little bit. And my wife will not forgive you on this stuff.
It's all good. It's all good.
That's good.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Amy. That's good.
Sorry. But no, this game, I mean, I love beating the Cubs, don't get me wrong. Whether they're in first, we're in first, I mean, when we go play the Cubs, there's just a little extra like feeling that you get when you beat them. Yeah. But taking away their celebration and all that, it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't feel like happy, like, oh yeah, we messed up their whole celebration. But there was a little something in there that I was like, I don't want them. I mean, you never want to lose a game and then the other team just goes crazy, popping champagne, and like you don't want that to happen in front of you, and it didn't, which was cool. It did kind of stink for them that they weren't able to do it right after the game on the field and stuff. But the next day they came out, they did their hat, thing, and they gave them a standing ovation, and I was over there on the other side, like with my hat off, like, are they clapping for me? Like. But it was cool, man. It was fun. I mean, like I said, you don't want a team to just like right when you lose a game, like celebrate just because you're pissed and they're all happy and they're just like, ah. Yeah. So it was nice to see that not happen. But yeah, like I said, man, beating the Cubs is really fun. The guys on their team, we respect all the guys that play for them. They're good guys. They play the game the right way. So there's no like rivals, like we're gonna bench clear or anything crazy like that. There's none of that, which is fun too, because it's just we're going out there and we want to beat you and you want to beat us, and it's just good baseball and it's fun and it's very electric there. Seems like we played 4 games there and 3 games at their place here. That one time when I mean, it was mostly royal blue shirts. Yeah. And then our people were here on top of the dugouts throwing out royal blue shirts, like sponsor shirts. I'm like, why would you make them royal blue? Like, there's enough royal blue here. Yeah. Anyways.
These are the things that bug you in a season.
Yeah, just like, come on, navy blue? Like, come on.
You get over an 0 for 10, but you can't get over the royal blue shirts. No,
I won't forget about that. And and just I think it would be cool I'm just going to throw this out there. Next year when we play them here at home, and they go in to buy their tickets, and if it says from Chicago, like, they can't buy anything on our side.
Yeah.
Like, so let them sell out over there, and there might be 1,000 over here. Doesn't matter, but keep them all over there, because when you just look around and you see, like, so we really need, the ticketing people to step up next year, and we need the Milwaukee fans to step up. And if you're going to go to a game, go to a Chicago game at home here, and just make sure that you don't let them completely sell out all their fans. Just because it's like we're playing like a home game, but it's like an away game. It's just weird. And we don't like that. So we'll do our job of winning a lot of ball games to get y'all coming here a little bit more often. But you guys are always like here, but it seems like they get their tickets early, and then our fans can't get them. So make sure you schedule it early enough. The schedule just came out, so boom, get on it.
So the ticket department has already turned you on to this. This brought to you by the Brewer Ticket Department.
No, not at all. They don't know anything about this.
Is just you?
They might be upset about this. I don't know.
You're a team guy. That's good.
Yeah, like if you're from Chicago and you are a Brewers fan, make sure you put it in like the comment section or the notes.
Yeah.
But just get seats on the first base side if possible.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you about the Texas series. There's a couple guys that are kind of important to you that are going to get ready for the playoffs. There, get that chance to see, what's in store for the, guys that, were a great part of, you coming up, and the way you developed were the guys that are on the Texas now. Just talking a little bit about those guys and getting a chance to see them and kind of beat them right before they hopefully have a big run in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, Luke, Gomez, I'm good buddies with Ian Desmond.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice playing against them and just kind of congratulating them on a good year. And it should be some fun. I've never had Luke catching while I'm hitting, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I mean, I feel like I know what he's going to how to pitch me, so it'll be fun to kind of play around with that a little bit and maybe, talk some crap when I'm up there, like, oh, I know you're going to throw me this fastball right here, but maybe play some, reverse psychology on him, maybe try to get in his dome a little bit. It'll be fun, and he'll be doing the same to me, so it'll be cool. And seeing Gomez, he's had a crazy year. I mean, it started off slow with the Astros, and they gave up on him, and now that he's doing well and playing good, and he's on a really good team, it's just nice to see. I think he deserves that, and he's a good teammate, and he works hard. So it'll be nice to talk to him a little bit, and also to see my boy Desi. I mean, he went from shortstop to center fielder now, and made the All-Star team. So just to be there and hopefully beat him three times and just let him know, congratulate him on a good year, and just say we'll see you later after an 0-3.
Yeah, as Gomez, he's such a symbol of how weird this sport is, because there's not a more talented guy. But he had to battle, and he had a bad, really bad start to the year, and it looked like, oh man, it might be over. And then you knew somebody would give him a chance, but there is that thought goes through. When you look at that as a guy who's got talent, but also works for everything, does it worry you in baseball that it could just go away like that? And he was kind of a symbol of it, but then he's working his way back now.
Yeah, he's the type of guy. I mean, he's really fast, really strong. I think it was just. Sometimes you gotta, and there's a Bible verse about this, which is really good, but sometimes you gotta go through true, trials, to really succeed or to really enjoy, persevering through that experience. And I think that's exactly what happened to him this year. He had a really good year with us, made the All-Star team, got a contract. I mean, he was on top of the world. Nothing could have gone wrong, and then the next year he did okay. I mean, he didn't play his best. I mean, he wasn't like he was not trying to. But whenever you have success and you do something a certain way, and it's like, boom, you have all this success. Now I'm an all-star, and then it's like, I'm going to keep doing that because it worked, and then it stops working, and then some people are like, I'm not the type of person that won't be like, bro, I mean, just try this. I'll say it. But a lot of people aren't like that. They're like, he just had this really good year. Let's not mess with him. So he was more, in a sense, kind of alone with making those adjustments. And I think this year was kind of the same thing. He went in, did his same deal where, I mean, the guy swings hard as helmet flies off, and it's just like, maybe it took him some time, some struggles to think like, okay, what minor adjustment could I make, or if any adjustments. I mean, whatever the case was, he obviously figured that out. Whether that was somebody coming up to him that cared about him, like, hey, like, let's just start fresh here. And I think that's what happened. And started swinging the bat good, got an opportunity to go to the Rangers, and has done well there. And just his energy's, I mean, it's unmatched by anybody I've ever been around. So that never hurts, especially later in the year. And he's a great guy. He cares about his teammates. He cares about the community and like just helping people out, which is awesome. So he's going to be good. And it was just nice to see him like persevere through those trials. And I feel like he has like joy now in his life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to be upset when you're making millions of dollars, but people don't understand, like, a lot of people do, but some people don't understand that the money it doesn't really give you that joy and happiness. What gives you joy and happiness is working hard, persevering through the bad times, and then overcoming that. And obviously he's got a family and his kids are great, they're healthy, so on that front everything's good. But I just see something different in him. I think he's overcome some obstacles recently when it comes to baseball, and he's out there having fun again, so it'll be nice to talk to him.
And you know that Luke was in that actually seat 14 throughout the year for this, but you also know you were 100 times better at this than he was.
Most likely.
Yeah, I would think.
Most likely.
Why do you have it in your heart that you know that you're a much better interview than that Texas guy that we were stuck with?
I don't know. I think it's just, I think it kind of comes natural for me.
Sure.
And I don't really think it does for him.
Yeah.
He's had to work at it probably. He's probably had to study.
Yeah. The Florida-Louisiana thing doesn't help, probably?
No, I mean, like I said, I think it's just my personality. I might say some things, like I get started on something and it leads me, and it's like, oh, let's get back to, like, he's solely focused on that, whatever the question was. But I like to just truly speak from the heart and try to make it sound good.
Yeah. And he never could pull it off. That's the thing,
Yeah, I never saw his interviews that he did here. I've seen a couple of them, and yeah, definitely better. You gotta make people laugh sometimes. You gotta be serious at times, and I think he's kind of just one level.
Just one notch below.
Yeah, you gotta have a few different ones that you can turn off and on.
It might be the chin hair. The chin hair, besides that whatever he had on his face all year.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but yeah, the chin hair, maybe.
Okay. And final question is, how is the fantasy football team doing? Are you out to a solid start?
No, we're 0-2.
Okay.
I'm not like huge into it, but I'm with Joe's. We're on a team. The guy who catches the first pitch. He's a coach. He's a video guy. He does it all. Throws BP. I mean, he's unbelievable. And he was supposed to be good at this. And I took a chance and not too happy about it.
No.
But it's a long season. I'm trying to be optimistic about the whole thing. I just gotta, let them know, like, hey, like, whatever we're doing right now, let's try to not do it. Let's try to not do that anymore. Let's change it up. Let's approach things from a different angle here and see what we can do. I mean, it's not like our bench is scoring a lot of points. Like, we're just making mistakes when it comes to, like, we got Tom Brady and Gronk, which has messed us up. Tom Brady suspended, obviously. We knew that going in. We got Sam Ryan. I think that's his name.
I don't know.
Sam Ryan.
From
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I was thinking the ESPN reporter.
I was thinking Sam Bradford. Matt.
That might have been your problem. You drafted Sam Ryan. Of ESPN. That was a mistake.
Matt Ryan. And he's done okay. But Gronk being out. So I mean, there's if they get back, and obviously Brady's going to be back, but if Gronk gets back healthy, I think we'll be all right. But we need to make some moves here, and he's in charge of it all. I just try to feed him some positive energy, and that's all I can do.
I mean, you can't, like David Stearns isn't coming down and pushing counsel out of the way. You're not going to do that to Joe, or you just take over.
Right, yeah, I mean, and I'm more like the bad boy, like telling you know, it'd be like telling David, like, hey, we need to do, yeah, that's kind of my level when it comes to the football and fantasy stuff. So, yeah, I'm kind of just there for, hey, we can do it. But it's tough. I'm a real person. I can't just lie and be like, yeah, man, things are going great, because they're not. So I got to try to think about what I can do to just, you know, drop some good knowledge, good energy.
That's a good move too. It shows off the guns when you
oh
sit
yeah,
like that. That's the
really
thing
like that.
Yeah. Welcome to the gun show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Welcome to the tan line show here.
Well, beautiful. Well, good job, man. I appreciate it.